lost my singing voice a long time ago. If you weren't here yesterday, you missed out on a very fun panel where I sat up here and explained to people how to sing without a voice. And how to express that raw emotion through just my hands. Yes.
Because you were saying, so new memories are stronger than old. So what if someone is, they deal with someone committing the suicide? How do they get out of that state of mind to create the new memories to get over the old?
So to create the new memories, the first thing you have to do is have someone point out something you've done recently that's important, that influenced them in a positive light. You then begin to reflect on, how can I repeat that? How can I create something else or do something else that will recreate that positive light? You then begin to seek it. So part of dragging someone out of suicide is, one, making them remember the good things, and two, trying to get them to figure out how to repeat the good things or create something similar to the good thing to get the same feeling. As I said, we should open up. We should talk. I will openly discuss my depression, any suicide thoughts, anything. Why? Because it gets it off my shoulders and prevents me from getting into a regressive cycle. It seems weird to us with social norms to walk up to somebody and go, "Hi, I thought about jumping from the 17th story today. Should I talk to you for a minute about that?" Point is, she didn't freak out and run away. She's deer in the headlights right now. I didn't actually think that. I'm sorry I put you on the spot. But you're the Pinkie Pie person in the room, so I thought maybe you'd be all right with it. Here's the thing. By doing that, I've now exhaled that thought to someone else, who's now thinking, how do I stop this person from jumping from the 17th story? Because she doesn't want to see that. She doesn't want to see another human being die, especially by their own hand. We call it a tragedy because no one intervened. Wrong. It's a tragedy because that person didn't know they could talk to someone. That person, for some reason, has been socially aggregated to keep it in. We should be socially aggregating people to throw it out. Yes?
So would that be why people do writing as a way if they feel like they
Yes.
can't get it out?
I can express myself through writing, through music, through doing a science panel in a way that is not only informative to you, letting you know my emotions, throwing out how I feel, but also lets you kind of develop your own ways and emotions and feelings, and hopefully changes how you view the world in a positive manner, or at least how you can now see into my world. Rockcove is screaming for help, and it's the freaking yak that's the best creature. Open up, talk about it. We're at a brony convention. I can get in the elevator and have elevator con, or I can get in the elevator and be crying, and one of you will ask me what's wrong.
How about waiting in line with con?
Waiting in line is pretty great.
Waiting in line,
2018.
waiting in line, look at the person behind you, look at the person in front of you, create a conversation.
Yep.
Get on. Now, I take this into the real world. I get on a plane to go to Crystal Mountain PonyCon. Guy next to me, older black gentleman, looks like the two of us would have nothing in common. First thing I do after takeoff, hi, how are you? Excuse me? My name's Fiora, what's yours?
Oh, yeah.
Wait, what? Who are you talking to? 5 minutes into the flight, we won't shut up. I can talk to him about his daughter he's going to go see play a soccer game. He can talk to me about ponies. We don't really know the two things. I couldn't tell you when someone got a red card or a yellow card. He couldn't tell me anything about class, or why Celestia has a giant booty. But the point is, we can roll back and forth, inform each other, and become interested in each other's things. By the end of the flight, I'm on my laptop trying to research BSU soccer. He's on his laptop watching the first 2 episodes. You can do this in everyday life. Remember how I said people would rather have exception than rejection and won't reject other people on the grounds that they don't want to feel that way? Guess what? Get on a bus, talk to the hobo. You know what I did in Newark that some people consider absolutely crazy and possibly dangerous? And it is a little bit. You have to have a whole lot of confidence and a whole lot of certainty, and you are taking your life into your own hands in some cases. I stopped my truck, invited the hobo who was begging for cash into the truck, drove him to McDonald's, got him a full meal, and then drove him home and let him sleep in the truck for the night. The next night, I let him sleep in my house. 2 weeks later, he had a job. All he had to do, really, was be brought in, shown some tender love and care, given motivation to do something besides sit on the street and beg, and then given the ability to do that.
Wow.
You know what he does now?
What?
His name's Ben. He's head of the Acme grocery store in Newark, Delaware.
Whoa.
That was 4 years ago. And Ben is one of my friends. And the last time I saw Ben was at BronyCon. So, yes, it takes a lot of confidence sometimes to do the crazy, silly thing. But the point is, if you reach out to someone and you give them a little push, they'll talk back. Even if all it does is pass the time on the bus. The art of conversation is something you can initiate, and the show shows you to initiate repeatedly. But moving on from suicide and intervention purposes, I swear to you, I will learn to operate this laptop.
There's too much people in this room.
I'm a little bit of social anxiety myself. I'm used to talking to people from the other side of a camera in a room by myself. But here, we have Flutters. Hi, Flutters. You are literally the representation of like a quarter of this fandom.
I've never heard you sing a
I
solo
swear, I'm going
like
to tear
that
this from the
before.
stage eventually and
It
then
was
just pretend
like
I
a
didn't know.
little slice of heaven. With ice cream on top! Johnny, I cannot believe your spectacular voice isn't part of the Ponytones quartet! Well, especially since you're having us perform for your Ponyville Pet Center fundraiser tomorrow night. Well, you see, This simply must be rectified. You must share that stunning voice at the event. Yeah! It'll be so amazing! You'll be there on stage, basking in the hot lights, the center of attention, a shining star! Everyone's staring, judging you, jealously noting how they could be way better than you. Why wasn't it them? Why wasn't it them? And then, when you choke, they'll turn on you, becoming a scene in everyone. And if you cry, never able to show your face in front of them again!
Oh, but I'm so good at it!
What did you say?
No.
I think we will. Because I will throw it down the world of hurt, unless I will get his money. Run, go!
As I recall, during your workshop you promised 100% satisfaction guaranteed or you pay nothing. Well, I'm not satisfied.
What do you mean you're not satisfied? Every pony has always been satisfied.
Well, I guess I'm the first then. But since I'm not satisfied, I refuse to pay. It's as simple as that.
Are you sure you're not just a little bit satisfied? That's because maybe we could cut a deal. I mean, we're both reasonable creatures, aren't we?
I'm sorry, but no means no.
No means no, huh? Nobody's ever said that to me before. I gotta remember that one. For my next workshop.
How do we go from, oh my god, Pinkie Pie is my subconscious telling me that I'm going to be a horrible, terrible, awful singer and the whole world's going to reject me and throw me out of Ponyville, I'm going to be a hobo, to, I'm going to stand up to the most intimidating creature we've ever met.
Wasn't that?
Two different episodes.
Two different seasons.
Yeah.
The point being, how do we go from that to that?
Encouragement from friends over a long period of time.
Encouragement from friends, and remembering what you're actually capable of. If your friends are telling you, no, you're good at this, and you're bad at it, they're bad friends. If your friends are telling you, you're good at this, and you can't see why, but they're pushing you, they're giving you that little push forward. Every little inch they push You become better at it. You gain confidence until you get to the point where you're like Fluttershy here, who doesn't feel the need to yell, scream, or shout, or otherwise be loud, and yet is able to tell Iron Will, no, nope, not happening. You lose. Bye.
This is relevant enough to bring up.
You are a good writer.
How the tables have
turned.
If I say anything contrary, I actually see the person in the doorway right now with a newspaper. Because I know Chuggle's sitting around here somewhere ready. So I'm just going to say no opinion.
How do you like to sit
My
down?
research papers beg to differ.
But the point is,
We need 7 more.
don't. 7 and I have to be in bikini for a week. It's the middle of winter. I'm going to have to be.
It's October. So never bother.
So everybody, go on to Film Fiction.
Hey, no!
Look at Paul.
Different-
Question dead.
No, we're going to discuss that later tonight. Not now, not this panel. Back! You're back, you should feel back.
Want me to go whack him across the snout with this?
If I had a spray bottle. The point here being, don't be afraid to be assertive. If you don't want something, you have the right to say no. If someone is not making it appealing to say yes, you have the right to go nope. And they have the right to do the same to you. Back to what we first learned. If you want someone to say yes, if you want someone to do something, you have to make it more appealing to them to do it. They can be scared to death of a crowd, terrified, traumatized by the fact that there's people everywhere. Grab their hand. How much more reassuring is it to feel someone physically touch you and say, nah, I'm going to beat the living crap out of anybody that gets too close to you right now. I mean, maybe not that extreme, but maybe just, I'll step between them when it's too much. And social anxiety slowly gets ebbed away at until it doesn't rear its head anymore. Because the more you socialize, the larger your social battery becomes, the easier it becomes, and more importantly, eventually those anxieties you feel are gone. You still have them in the back of your head sometimes, but you have the capacity now to deal with them. Much like a muscle working out. Getting stronger, you lift 50, you lift 70, you lift 100. Your brain works the same way with emotional capacity. The more it is tailored to dealing with that emotion, to dealing with social anxiety and social situations, in this case, the easier it becomes. You take baby steps at first, and then you're leaping further than Neil Armstrong could jump on the moon. By the way, as a note, a little side note, just so everyone's aware, we're going to talk about relationships now.
Yay!
I have a master's in human communication and a bachelor's in human sexuality. I could be your marriage counselor tomorrow if I got my own counselor.
What's your race?
My rate is, are you my friend and do I care enough to do it?
Yes!
You can't make love happen. It's impossible. Literally, just can't. Stop trying to hook up your friends. Let them do it on their own. Seriously. Any relationship that was deemed necessary by someone else will eventually terminate on its own for lack of interest. Every relationship we get into, whether it be with a dog, our significant other, or our employer, all have a terminating endpoint automatically. We have to accept this. That endpoint can be two people drift apart, they change, they decide to go their separate ways. Somebody dies.
Yeah.
Or time, erosion, and just distance ebb away at and make it impossible to sustain. That's been kind of made more and more irrelevant by the internet. But the point here being, when you start a relationship, one, it has to be of your accord, not of someone else trying to influence you to do it, or it's never going to be a lasting relationship. And two, you can't make it happen for someone else. You're not that person. No matter how great you think Kelly and Drew are together, Kelly probably actually likes Angela.